Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones with me, Alpha Omega, and Rhaegar Targaryen, the ruler of the Iron Throne. So in the last episode we have spent a lot of time dealing with the court affairs to, bigger or lesser success depending on what we try to do. Not entirely happy with our money because we haven't still invested anything into, anything. But we have decided to take some leniency on the Lannisters and traveled to their grand tournament, where we have been involved in jousting tournament and we failed. But then we were on the winning team in the melee, and now we are waiting for the wrestling, I guess. So I think we gained 350 prestige and 90 gold, and now we're waiting for the wrestling. So I'm interested in seeing what's gonna happen. Qualifications, you are currently guaranteed to qualify. Okay, cool. I'm not entirely sure what the wrestling is going to be like, but let's discover together. I've been on a couple of grand tournaments when I was playing the game, not the Game of Thrones mod, but just, generally speaking, Crusader Kings 3, and it was usually just one or the other. I've never had a full blown out grand tournament that's taking, a year? It's interesting to see. Jonathan Darry made preparations. Interesting. So, wrestling contest begins. Arrayed around the sand, shirtless contestants warm up for their bouts as the herald announces the contest's commencement. Some of the competitors rub dirt onto themselves, others opt for oils, all looking for a scant advantage in the coming bouts. The wrestling qualifiers have come to an end, and it's clear who will be put forward for the quarter-finals as it stands. The varied pitches and volumes of the crowd's cheers leave no question as to the favorites. For my first bout, I have been paired against my vassal, Lord Franklin of the Prince's Pass. Okay, so I wonder what this is gonna be based on. I guess martial and personal combat or something like that? I don't like the fact that he's holding a short sword while we have nothing. So I am ready. And I have a bet to place. No, I'm ready. Quarterfinals, butting in. Franklin lands on me hard as his grapple sends me toppling to the ground. Immediately, we both began struggling for a better position. I attempting to flip him off me, he trying to capitalize on the opening. Franklin tucks one of my arms under his knee and begins working to end the fight entirely. Desperately, my free hand grasps for something, anything to use. Half blinded by the dirt, I can feel air, then the rough, coarse fabric of wrestling clothing, then suddenly a buttock cleft. If I don't do something soon, the bout is as good as lost, and so my thumb unfurls from its fist. All is fair in love and wrestling. We gained the nickname the Dirty. I will lose with honor if I must. Let's see. The nickname the Dirty increases slightly. Walking funny for 3 years. No, I will lose with honor if I must. Wrestling sabotage. Before the wrestling contest has even begun, someone has been caught in the act of sabotage. Lord Medvic was tampering with Lord Stefan's wrappings, coating them with an irritating unguent to throw me off. Understandably, Lord Paramount Tywin has disqualified him from the contest, much to his intended victim's delight. Shameless. The crowd bays for blood as I stagger forward to confront my opponent again. I cough away a red rivulet from my forehead and consider the fight so far, musing about when a member of the crowd gave me some unexpected assistance. I'm losing, and by a fair margin. The path to victory is narrow, but it's still possible. That liver looks vulnerable. Come, let us lock up as warriors. faint low, go high. Or keep it simple, keep it safe. No, come, let us lock as warriors. Nice, we won. Wrestling, toss-up. A hand on the shoulder, a deft trip, and an almighty heave. We crash to the floor. All sound is labored breathing, and, farther away, the roar of the crowd. I scramble on top of my adversary, straining to press home my advantage. Moments later, I manage to catch Franklin off guard. I don't waste the opportunity, grabbing his about the waist and throwing him with all might toward the edges, where he sprawls out of the ring. The judges call an end. I have won. Victory. Okay, progress to victory is 100%. And here we are in another match. The wrestling quarterfinals are over. The herald booms. King Rhaegar of the Iron Throne, Lord Gerald of Brackworth, Lord Tywin of Dargrove, and Lord Leo of Horncross Sound have reached the semifinals. My next bout will be Lord Tywin, my vassal. Okay, he has 0 martial and only 9 prowess. How did this guy manage to get through? I don't know what this is based on. I can do this. Actually, I concede. No, I can do this. We are not going to concede. Disjointed. As I disengage from a brief clinch with Tywin, I catch him by surprise and grab him by the neck. Completely unprepared, Tywin's neck audibly crack from the impact, the force causing him to scream in panic. The crowd erupts, but the raucous cheers quickly die down to whispered confusion as I loosen my grasp. The moment my arm has made contact, a sickening pop signaled that all was not well, and the pain juddering through my finger confirms some manner of dislocation. Tywin is still gathering themselves. If I react quickly, perhaps... Right. Well, there's only one thing to do. Attempt to pop the finger back into its joint. Possible outcome. Impromptu treatment works. Score increases moderately and begins 75 prestige. Or, ow, that didn't help at all. We lose a bit of score and we get dislocated finger for 1 year. Which is not great, but I can see. Prowess -3, okay. If I favor my other hand, I might be still able to do this. Our score decreases slightly, and we are guaranteed to get the dislocated finger. I'm injured, I must concede. No. So this is a sure decrease, and this is giving it a chance, but having a 1 to 5 chance that we are going to lose. Ambitious, brave. Okay, let's try it. Yep, as I expected. The crowd bays for blood as I stagger forward to confront my opponent again. I cough away a red rivulet from my forehead and consider the fight so far, musing about when my finger popped out of its socket. I am losing, and by a fair margin. The path to victory is narrow, but it's still possible. Okay, come, let us lock up as warriors. Nice, okay, so we won this one as well. Unfortunately, the finger is going to hurt us for a year. So we caught him off guard and pushed him out of the ring. Victory. So we're going into the finals. The bout between Lord Gerald and Lord Leo has been decided. After an unsatisfyingly one-sided bout, no one was surprised when Gerald firmly pinned Leo and was declared the winner. Leo has 14 martial and 25 prowess and is sadistic. Okay, well this guy has... Okay, 38 prowess. So, and 15 martial. And 32 and 15. Well, this is gonna be close. A fine contest. The wrestling semifinals are over. The herald booms. King Rhaegar of the Iron Throne and Lord Gerald of Blackworth have reached the final. So I can do this. Let's see if we can win the last match. Befuddling blows. There is nothing like a good wrestle to truly bring the senses to life. Everything is sharper, brighter, more distinct in sound and sight and smell. It's enough to make a man feel superhuman, and perhaps depriving one of a sense would do the opposite. I contemptuously weave left to avoid an incoming grapple from Gerald and, as he recalls, unleash a mighty two-handed clubbing blow to both sides of his head. Gerald bellows in agony, trickles of blood rolling out of his ears. It's clear this bout is coming to a quick conclusion, but the wild attempts at the grapple being thrown in my vague direction imply Gerald is going to get his revenge or be felled trying. Let's make this quick. Victory is assured, but a quick end would still be merciful. Score increases moderately. We gain 4 trait experience in foot and gain 75 prestige, and he gains opinion, or you succeed by talking Gerald into conceding. Okay, let's try to make him concede. Yep, he gave up. The crowd bays for blood as I stagger forward to confront my opponent again. I cough away a red rivulet from my... Oh wait, he didn't. Okay. So let's go with the usual, let's look up as warriors. And did we not win? We did! Tournament phase wrestling contest winner. Trumpets sound, the crowd clamors, competitors begin to assemble. The contest is over and someone's moment in the sun is being readied. A herald steps forward, voice booming out across the scene. After many trials, some tribulations, and above all else, some truly spirited competition, King Rhaegar beats Lord Gerald in the final. Rhaegar is our winner. Truly, there are none in the Westerlands that can match my skill. I have proven my worthiness beyond doubt. So we gain 750 prestige, 180 gold, and we gain accomplished grappler for 5 years. Huge boost to health and resistance to hostile schemes. Okay. And we received the prize for the grand tournament concludes. I won. I actually won. Nice. So we were in the winning team in melee and won the wrestling. And the jousts were, well, unfortunately we got eliminated before the semifinals. But now the duel. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping I'm not gonna get killed there. That would be unfortuitous. We are guaranteed to qualify. And yep, we gained a ton of money. We're gonna invest all of that. Prestige as well and everything. So duel contest begins. Contestants march onto the field, taking their places around the sparring quad as their herald announces the contest's commencement. The square of ring is being looked over in the background, rattled and shaken to ensure no give should a contestant crash into it. The dual qualifiers have come to an end, and it's clear who will be put forward for the quarterfinals as it stands. The varied pitches and volumes of the crowd's cheers leave no question as to the favorites. The inclusion of Gordon of Lidenburn, a skilled Reachman knight of obscure origin, has caused quite a stir. Chaste, trusting, and honorable. Wow, this guy is looking pretty good. Let's invite this guy to the court, because having someone who is all around a nice man, a blade master, I like this guy. And for his participation in the tournament, he deserves it. So for my first bout, I've been paired against my fellow contestant Gordon. Oh wow, we're actually... okay, so he is actually going to face us. I am ready. My blade clashes with that of my opponent Gordon's, sparks sent flying as the two weapons grate. We both step back, circling to our left. Gordon swings at me, the sword's point thudding into the ground after passing my body. Quick as a viper, I step in and kick it as hard as possible. Ripped from his grasp, Gordon's sword cartwheels off through the air, landing to both of our horror amongst the crowd. A shrill cry pierces the air, and we both hurry over to see AGOT on his knees, the flying sword having impacted directly into his arm. AGOT, are you alright? The melee ceases for now. He gains opinion, or he loses opinion, and he gains the trait wounded. Well, no time to lose. Gordon loses opinion. No, let's cease it for now. Duel. Riposte. A screeching chorus of metal on metal rings out as the two blades scrape down each other's length, sparks glittering as they fall to the ground. I look for advantage, thinking back to when my opponent's sword went flying into the ground. The duel is still so close. Its victor could still be either of us. We advance upon each other once more. We are both battered, both tired, and there can only be one winner. I must remember my training. What? Are you scared? One final bluff might decide this. And come then, let us fight. It's interesting that prowess and martial gives us only 66 and prowess and diplomacy gives us more. I mean, we do have more diplomacy, does his? His martial and prowess is so much less than mine. And still we have such low chances. Well, are you scared? And we lost. Cool. So, fine. We were eliminated. Steel on steel, confounded. My very thrust goes wide, my opponent contemptuously not even bothering to weave out of its inaccurate attempt. Instead, I find myself instantly on the defensive, parrying blow after blow without being able to answer with any of my own. I backpedal desperately, weaving and dodging, anything to stay in the fight. Gordon chances tack suddenly, and I sense the end is near. I do my best to keep my guard against his storming blows, but the last catches my blade awkwardly, breaking my grip and knocking it into the dirt. The judges call an end. I have lost. Well, okay, so this is something that I did not expect. Wrestling won and lost in melee and jousting. The two quarterfinals are over. Let's see who's going to be in the semifinals. Lord Elwood and Lord Bohemond. Interesting. Fine contest. And Gordon and on Theomar. Gordon won. Okay. This guy might actually win this. So Lord Elwood of Castlewood and Gordon, who is unlanded. 13 and 9 and 15 and 15. Well, he has a chance. So let's hear it out for Gordon. The bout between Gordon and Lord Elwood has been decided. This means Gordon has won the duel. Okay. And we even invited him to the court. Amazing. Amazing. Contest winner is Gordon. At your court, yep. So we accept it. There's always next time. And the ceremony. And then we're going to be heading back. The grand tournament conclusion. The sun comes down on the final day of the tournament, and the massed crowds begin to disperse. I find myself ruminating over the results. Lord Trevor's team carried the day in the melee. Lord Varyn broke innumerable lances to prove their quality in the joust. I was an indomitable opponent and took the first place in wrestling, and Gordon's superiority with the blade had them take home the prize in the duel. I fulfilled my goal of winning a contest and look forward to the next one. So, We gain 25 trait experience in horse, 53 trait experience in foot, and T1 gained 1500 prestige, and the Lannisters gained 600 renown. Everyone participating gained 25 opinion, and Pendrick Hills gained boasted garrison. Nice, what an occasion. And what kind of prize did we get? So, conclusion. King Rhaegar got 750, 180 gold. We get a bit of renown. And we got the accomplished grappler. I wanted the champion Joustan, that would be great. Finish the grand tournament. Ah, okay, so that price was the money. Okay, I thought that we would be getting something else. Okay, so let us head back home. So Maesters, okay, that's not what I wanted to show, but Orlon gained the trained novice physician. So our Maester is increasing his knowledge. Okay, nice. Travel, fortified knowledge. The high attitude and the brisk air of Golden Tooth has a very refreshing quality as we traverse the local hill fort. The soldiers in the valley below appear to be practicing some rare type of training techniques I haven't seen before. I move in closer, failing to restrain my curiosity. While doing so, I'm approached by the local captain, Rafford. Would you like to join in, my lord? I'm always up for a challenge. He was 200 gold, but again a rough terrain expert or reckless. My Kingsguard will surely benefit from this training regime. Unfortunately, we are in a hurry. Okay, so no, we are brave, so let's join in 200 gold. Okay, but we gained the rough terrain expert, so at least something. And are we hurt or something? We are still bruised. The call of the road. Since leaving home nearly a year ago, I have seen highs and lows, reveled in the wind blowing through my hair, and lamented the rocks in my boots. There are so many places, so many things I have yet to see. Out there on the open road, I feel free of the stuffy castles, if only for a little while. The roads are full of pilgrims and wanderers. Perhaps it is among them I will find my peace of mind. Out here I am truly free. We gain the Traveler trait. Okay. So we are starting to enjoy the travels. I think we might go on a pilgrimage then. A foreign treat. It's not the first time I catch my Kingsguard Levin fiddling around with some flowers he's been picking along the road. Sometimes it's where I even hear him sighing, overlooking stony stepped holding. My liege, he says, when he notices that I've been observing him. It's not a secret that my heart has found a new home far from home. Alas, my liege, my soul aches for Alion. My desires know no end, her eyes, her hair. I long for just a salute. I'd die for a word. Please, I beg you, let me stay with her. Who am I to interfere in higher matters? He leaves the travel entourage, and he gains an opinion of me. You're coming home with me. We have no time for such juvenile infatuations. We have enough room in our court to welcome both of you. Who is Lord Offa of Stony Step? Lord Norbert's... Ah, okay, so he is... he's the liege of Alion. I mean, two options. We can either let him go, because one thing that we have to remember is that she is my soulmate, which is an even higher rating than lover. So we are definitely not gonna tell him that we don't have time for these things. So I either let him go, or we invite her. I think I'm gonna let him go because we are solitary. Local hero. As we traverse the wilderness, trudging through the dirt, we encounter a modest wayward shrine, naively carved. It sports a 7-pointed star at its head, and below the weathered words, "Here lies Saint Alaria of Atranta, blessed daughter of Riverhild." Saint Alaria of Atranta. It seems a local spiritual figure is being patronized in these parts, one not sanctioned by the Baelris devout. Cast down this heterodoxy. Saint Alaria. There's a nice ring to it. We can patronize the local saint, or we better get going. Well, we are fairly pious, so let's patronize the local saint. Okay, so we are no longer wounded and we gain the trait Scarred. Interesting, but I didn't see the trait Wounded there anywhere either way. So we arrived back home. We gained 11 trait experience in Wanderer and 2 in Horse. Okay, so I want to see what we are like after this adventure of ours. So we are still astute, intellectual. We didn't gain anything in Wine Master. I wonder how we can improve that. I have to look into it. Rough Terrain Expert, that is pretty good when it comes to fighting. I'm pretty sure this one is going to be good for us when we command an army. Beautiful Poet, Skilled Fighter. And now we are Hasty Looter. We have Foot at level 2, meaning we get extra martial and prowess. Bow is at 0, Horse is at 1, so 1 for prestige is increased. Wit. I don't know how to improve the wit, but we're also a Traveler, which is pretty good. Seasoned. Many dangers await unwitting and unprepared travelers on the open road. Okay, so let's deal with the court, and we're gonna end the episode for now. Murder holes and priest holes. What is this? A pallid individual who looks as if she had spent her entire life skulking underground is lurking in the corner of my throne room. I've heard tell you might want a secret passage installed. I can craft any impure corridor your twisted hearts desire. I can even add an oubliette to your bedroom for your lover to throw you into in the height of passion. I shall enter and leave rooms by the front door, wench. A series of spying halls where my courtiers gather, please. I'm a simple man. A hidden escape passage will do. I admit I would like to be thrown in an oubliette stark naked. We gain the trait Deviant. Or Deviant, I think this is pronounced Deviant. We lose more stress. But this is a crime to us. We gain a secret. I shall enter and leave rooms only by the front door, wench. Yeah, I don't think that's something that we are that interested in. Inspired person can be sponsored. Okay, we can host a grand tournament, but I'm not interested in that. We don't have money for it anyway. And we can host a grand tour. Hosting a grand tour will be unavailable. And what about that inspired person? Weave inspiration. He wants to weave something glorious. Okay, I'm not interested in that. One thing that I want to see though is we don't have a weapon. We have a bunch of crowns and we have an armor, but I think getting a weapon... Crown of Aegon the First. Actually, let's wear Aegon's crown. Stewardship. Baelor's crown. Crown of Aegon the Fourth. I ignored this on purpose. I wanted to actually invest in making my own regalia, but considering we are so pressed for money, I don't think we're going to be able to do that anytime soon. Courtier gained a trait. Okay. Acolyte loses rank. Okay, and console left court. But we still have everyone here. We have people at the Kingsguard. How's our children doing? We haven't checked on them in a while. So Princess Rhaenys is now 8. She is pensive. Prince Doran of Dorne, aren't we? Who is our guardian? Oh, our mother. Okay, so she is actually with us. Her brother Aegon. Oh, this is the Aegon, not Rhaegar. That's us, Rhaegar. Is pensive, handsome, quake. And he wanted to... Didn't he want to become the... Did he lose it? He wanted to become a knight. Okay, and what about our daughter? Princess Rhaegar on the Iron Throne. She is beautiful and intelligent. Nice! Running 6, diplomacy 7, already 900 prestige. Pretty good. What do we have here available? Powerful vassal accepts position. Lord Mace of the Reach. We can declare war. I'm not interested in that. We can appoint accolade successors. We can pardon criminals. Adulterer, fornicator, adulterer. No. Just don't, and we can imprison. Yeah, we can imprison them for fornicating. That's not exactly what we're gonna do here. And okay, can I appoint a successor? Okay, so we're gonna be the successor to the Stallion of Dragonstone. And the most skilled of the Iron Throne. Let's put you there. And this is okay. And the Golden Hammer can be reinstated. Horace, okay. So you are going to be... Wait. I wanted to do the inactive accolade. Oswald then. Okay, cool. So you are the person, and can we appoint a successor? Nestor is gonna be your successor. And not available. Inspired person can be sponsored. I'm not interested in that, but I think that we can maybe appoint how is it, a smith? Grandeur, master of the horse, antiquarian. Okay, so if we hire an antiquarian, we can commission artifacts. Garrigus, our courtier. Aegon, 5th of the 7, he is Valyrian. Average. Running skill. Poor. Okay, what's the point? Spinous nihilist. Cynical, craven, and diligent. Fire obsessed. Wise man. What about Aegon? Forgiving, honest, greedy. Valiant, intrigue, courtier. And this guy, Prendos, brave, temperate, and generous. Okay, you are my antiquarian. Antiquarian, to pronounce it. Yeah. You are gonna be the person. Okay, and can we, last thing that we're gonna do in this episode, can we invest into our domain and do something here? Because we really need to improve our situation. Walls and towers. Yep. Let's construct walls and towers. And in Dragonstone, we are going to... Oh, wow, that's expensive. I wanted to do the cattle pastures, but the hill farms are cheaper. So let's construct hill farms. And that's it for this episode. So we enjoyed this, and I'm gonna contemplate going on a trip. Meditate in seclusion and take a vow of poverty. We can actually meditate in seclusion, but there was... feast. I think the pilgrimage might be good, though I don't know where we would go, and it costs 250 gold. So we're not gonna do that now. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. An interesting episode full of role-playing. So in the next one, we are going to rest, I think, and try to improve ourselves, and then we are going to most likely do something as you do.